So I say a lot of bold statements about self-storage, but I'm going to make another one. So 2021 is going to be a good year for the small investor to get in the self-storage business. My name's Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage. And I don't know when you're seeing this, but if you're seeing this before January 2021, know that I'm going to be hosting a virtual online self-storage boot camp that's designed to support the small investor in going from wherever you are now to getting in the self-storage business. If you'd like to learn more about what this boot camp offers and if it could support you and what you're up to, click below, or at the end of this video there'll be a link. But I make a lot of bold statements. Now I'll be the first to tell you that not everything I say is correct. Just ask my wife. But I stand by this one. In fact, our company is going to be acquiring and growing in 2021. It's going to look different than we've looked in the past, but we're going to be in acquisition mode. So I try to talk about only things that I have experience in or am currently doing, and not just spouting theory, although I can spout theory with the best of them. But let me share my thoughts about why 2021 is going to be a good year for the small investor to get in. And then let me give you a caution or two. So, first of all is performance. Self-storage has performed stellar during this pandemic. Yeah, it was real scary going for March and April, but our occupancy rates have never been higher, and rental rates kind of did a dip, but as I record this, they have been going up 7 to 10% in the markets that we're in. And this is December 2020. Usually December in the fourth quarter is a slow month of declining occupancy and declining rental rates. So we're even seeing money from the multifamily sector start to flow in. You know, that creates its own set of challenges. But the word about self-storage is out. It performed very well during the Great Recession. It's performing well during the pandemic in most markets. And self-storage is a great asset class to be in for many reasons, but one of them is how well it performs during economically challenging times. Another reason why I think 2021 is going to be a good year for the small investor in self-storage is where we are in the life cycle of the self-storage industry. So if you look at the life cycle of an industry like you look at the life cycle of a human being, you know, we're not in our infancy, we're not children anymore, we're young adults or older adolescents, but we still have a long way to go in the life cycle. In fact, today, even though with all this institutional money chasing self-storage at the moment, today, the last statistic I've seen is 62% of all self-storage facilities are owned by someone who just owns one facility. So it still is very much a mom and pop industry. Now what drives most of those mom and pops to the market has nothing to do with interest rates or cap rates or T-bill or anything like that. Usually what drives those facilities to the marketplace is a change in the life of the owner, a death, an illness, a retirement. And that's what drives them to the market. And over the next decade, what percentage of that vast majority of self-storage facilities do you think is going to hit the market? 30%? 50%? 70%? That's a lot of opportunity. And many of them, if not most of them, are facilities that, at least initially, the large institutional buyers aren't going to be that interested in. So we won't be competing with them, at least yet. And when we're finished with them, bringing those mom and pop facilities into this century and turning them from mom and pop to more institutional grade, then we'll have a portfolio of facilities that these institutional buyers may be looking at. I think over the next decade, there's going to be a consolidation in this industry like the likes of which we've never seen before. And that's where the opportunity is in the next decade for the small investor, in my opinion. I mean, as I wrote this episode, 3 days earlier, there was a headline, Public Storage buys portfolio, $532 million. The consolidation I'm talking about. What if that was your portfolio? A few other things, interest rates are still low. There's good SBA financing and bank financing for small investors. We've got all the pieces in place. But let me give you a few cautions. Many of the markets are overbuilt. Now, there's no need to be putting more self-storage, bringing more space on in an overbuilt market. We have the tools and the ability to peer into a sub-market and market to see if it's overbuilt. But there are many areas of the country, many sub-markets and many metropolitan areas and second-tier markets where there's still lots and lots of opportunity. Your market area of where you can look for facilities is probably got to be larger than it was in the past. But there's still lots of opportunity out there. You've just got to be more careful. And you've got to be able to execute, in most cases, some type of value add play as you're buying these facilities. That could run the gamut of improving the management, automating as much as possible, that adding space, expanding, conversions, all types of value add plays. But you're going to have to develop the skills to be able to execute some type of value add play to get the returns that as small investors we're seeking. So yes, it's going to require some new skill sets if you don't have those. They're learnable. The self-storage boot camp could be an example of where you could get them, among other places. But it's a learnable skill for you. Look, if we're willing to grow, if we're willing to change, if we're willing to adapt, this next decade is going to be a fantastic time to be in the self-storage business. In our company, we're not allowed to say, well, that doesn't work, or we tried that and that doesn't work. Truth is, we don't know what works. We're changing and adapting daily, monthly, quarterly, yearly, too, just like you guys. But we anticipate 2021 to be a year of growth for us. And I suggest it should be a year of growth for you too. You should either get in the self-storage business or grow your self-storage business. Like the old Chinese proverb says about planting trees, the best time to get in the self-storage business was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. Make 2021 your year for self-storage. Thank you very much. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage. And if you'd like to learn more about the upcoming virtual online self-storage boot camp that can help you do just what we're talking about, you can click the link at the end of this video. Thank you, or click below. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.